So we're going to be talking today about the importance of good nutrition. Nutrition provides one of the most powerful tools that we have to promote health. It's something that we all know, but it may be one of the most sensitive of all of the 8 sections that we've talked about. Why do you suppose that might be? Why do you think when we start talking about what we eat, it tends to be a little sensitive? It's emotional. Yeah. And sometimes we might feel like we're being judged, or that we might need to change something. And change is difficult, and besides that, we like what we're doing pretty much. But today, of course, scientists are discovering more and more the amazing benefits of eating food that is as close to really what God provided in the Garden of Eden. Eden's diet was plant-based. And we know that by consuming a large variety of fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, and seeds, we will be healthier. We know that. We don't like sometimes being told, though, that we can't eat something that we like. And the focus here is not to say you can't. The focus is to say you can. We want to focus on the positive issues, on the positive side, because God said He came to give us life and to give it to the fullest. God wants us to be healthy. He told us through the prophet Isaiah, listen to me and eat what's good, and your soul will delight in the richest fare. Give ear and come to me. Hear me, that your soul may live. One of the things that I've learned as we've gone through this seminar is how closely interrelated the physical is to the emotional and to the spiritual. And you can't disengage any one, or you can't affect any one of those without affecting all. So the physical affects the spiritual, affects the emotional, and it's a continuum. So to be as healthy as we can be in our bodies, in our minds, and in our relationship with God, all of these factors are important. First Corinthians chapter 6. Don't you know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who's in you, whom you have from God, and you are not your own? For you have been bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God with your body. We were talking earlier in Sabbath school about the fact that God calls us His precious treasure. He gave Himself for us. So we're going to be talking today about enjoying the bounties of Eden. Simple, wise decisions about nutrition can have rich rewards. It's no surprise to any of us sitting here that 6 out of 10 Americans are overweight, primarily due to dietary practice. And of course, this is an epidemic now. And I was noticing, just in the last few years, as my parents have downsized, Tom's parents have passed, and we've been blessed to be the recipients of their dishes and glasses and cups and silverware. I don't know if you've looked at any of those older things. You know the plates are smaller. Do you know the silverware is smaller? Do you know the coffee cup is like maybe, 6 ounces. It's small. We're so used, we have supersized everything, and our bodies show the effect of that. We're going to be talking about the power of positive thinking. Engaging in positive health practices causes negative habits to go away. Positivity equals success. Short story, true story. There was a man, a mill worker, who was 100 pounds overweight. His company offered a nutrition weight loss seminar to help produce or improve productivity of the employees. Because he was so overweight, he was embarrassed to go to the classes. So he went to the nutritionist and he asked her if she would work with him individually. And she said, of course, certainly, I'd be happy to. So he made appointments to meet with her weekly. She said, well, for the first week, I just want you to write down everything that you eat. And so he did that. Second week, he came back to meet with her, and they talked a little bit about how his week had gone, and just kind of an overview of things. And then she said, all right, now for this next week, what I want you to do, and he takes a deep breath because he knows she's going to talk to him about that pound of fudge that he ate. She said, what I want you to do is eat one piece of fruit every day. He said, okay, I can do that. And she said, now you're going to come back and see me next week. And he said, wait a minute, what about that fudge? She said, oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about the fudge. She said, all I want you to think about is adding one piece of fruit. So he did. And the fudge took care of itself. He found that as he ate that piece of fruit, and as he added healthy things to his diet bit by bit, his desire for the fudge, while it was still there, it was less. But he started craving more and more healthy food, vegetables, fruit. He craved less of the sweets and those processed foods. And the weight began to melt. Watch this.
Food is the energy that makes it possible for our body to regenerate and grow. To get better results, all we have to do is fuel our body with better food. Human blood cells only live for about 4 months, so our body is constantly replacing old blood cells with new ones. Thousands of new cells regenerate in our body daily. That's why fueling our body with the highest quality of food helps to create the healthiest cells. So we should enjoy a variety of foods that are prepared in fresh ways. A balanced approach that adds colors, textures, and flavors is best. Different foods equal different nutrients. We should also guard ourselves against diet gimmicks, tricks, and trends. Ask, how is this different from what I know is a balanced diet? And how will this affect my health overall? If it proposes dramatic changes from a regular eating schedule or from normal foods, then don't fall for it because it isn't a healthy diet. Think back to the creation story. The original diet we find is plant-based. Have you ever wondered why God gave us a vegetarian diet in the beginning? He wants what's best for us. So he gave us a diet that helps us live life to the fullest. It's a diet that energizes us. It prevents disease while creating and maintaining our best health. The original diet we find in Eden had a ratio of 60% carbohydrates to 14% protein. And what are some benefits of this diet? Well, for starters, it's high in fiber. Some high fiber foods are beans, legumes, whole grains, pasta, vegetables, fruits, and nuts. Fiber makes us feel full, which means we don't eat as much. High fiber foods help us achieve and maintain a healthy weight. A study involving more than 74,000 women showed that those who ate more whole grains weighed less. Research also shows that eating 3 servings of fruits daily helps with healthy weight loss. High-fiber foods cause blood sugar to rise slowly, requiring less insulin to process the meal. They also slow the emptying of food from the stomach, increasing the absorption of simple sugars in the small intestine. Other benefits of a vegetarian diet that's high in fiber include lower serum cholesterol concentrations, lower risk of heart disease, reduced blood pressure, better glycemic control, which reduces the risk of diabetes, and improved digestive function. And it's a fact that a vegetarian diet leads to the lowest risk of cancer, period. Despite these benefits, some might wonder if it's possible to get enough protein on a vegetarian diet. Research shows that a proper vegetarian diet does in fact supply all of our protein needs. Here are some other important findings. With plant foods, we experience a slow, continuous release of energy, helping our body maintain consistent serotonin levels. This helps control our mood, appetite, and food cravings throughout the day. High-fiber foods reduce emotional distress as well by increasing brain function since it's being fueled by a steady release of glucose. Adults who eat high-fiber foods for breakfast are more productive and think more clearly. As you might imagine, good nutrition affects children positively too. In one study, the meals were changed in school lunches served to more than 1 million New York City public school students. In just 1 year, a more wholesome diet caused a 16% increase in academic performance and a 41% decrease in the number of children with learning disabilities. In another study involving 8,000 teenagers at 9 different juvenile correctional facilities, researchers replaced diets high in sugar and refined foods with diets high in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. During the year in which the diets were changed, violent and antisocial incidents at the institutions decreased by almost half. A good diet improves quality of life all the way around. Before fast food became a way of life, we enjoyed fast foods that were even faster and easier to eat, such as apples, bananas, and almonds. Nature's nutrient-rich fast foods come in a spectrum of colors. Purple, red, and blue fruits and vegetables are rich in phytochemicals called anthocyanins. These rid the body and brain of free radical damage. Orange, yellow, and green vegetables are rich in stress-lowering carotenoids. How important is fruit and vegetable consumption? Well, the World Health Organization reports that nearly 3 million people die each year simply because they're not eating enough fruits and vegetables. 5 servings a day is all we need. 20% of all cancer is preventable by eating 5 servings of fruit and vegetables daily. Here's some tips to get you started. Eat broccoli. This vegetable wins top honors when it comes to promoting health. Ounce for ounce, it has more vitamin C than an orange and as much calcium as a glass of milk. 1 medium sprig of broccoli has 3 times more fiber than a slice of wheat bread. It's also one of our richest sources of vitamin A. Consider these benefits. Broccoli minimizes the risk of cataracts and helps protect against strokes. It contains a substance called isothiocyanates, which stimulate the body to create its own cancer-fighting substances. Isothiocyanates also block the growth of melanoma skin cancer cells. People who eat the most cruciferous vegetables have a much lower risk of prostate, colon, and lung cancers, even when compared to people who regularly eat other vegetables. Other cruciferous vegetables such as kale, cabbage, and cauliflower contain compounds that signal our genes to increase enzymes that detoxify the body. In a study of women in Singapore, a city of high levels of air pollution, non-smokers who ate cruciferous vegetables lowered their risk of lung cancer by 30%. Smokers who ate them reduced their lung cancer risk by 69%. Want a simple way to detoxify your body? Eat cruciferous vegetables like kale, spinach, broccoli, turnips, cauliflower, collards, bok choy, and cabbage. Bottom line, fruits and vegetables protect us from disease, and they create a higher quality and quantity of life. But let's move on to another food, beans. Beans are a great source of protein and fiber, and they're low in calories and fat. Eating beans reduces the risk of heart disease, stroke, helps with diabetes, and helps prevent cancer. A University of Kentucky study found that men who increased their bean intake for 3 weeks lowered their cholesterol by 19%, which reduced their risk of heart attack by 40%. Also, drinking soybean milk more than once a day decreased the risk of prostate cancer by 70%. Now, what conclusions can we make based on the research we've covered in this section? One of the easiest, quickest, and most effective ways to feel better and stronger is to color your diet. Eat at least 5 servings of different color fruits and vegetables a day, and you'll feel better and have more energy. Being healthy is about consistently making the better choice. Here are some easy ways to start enjoying better health today. Keep an apple with you. Remember the adage, an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Well, apples do reduce cancer risk, heart disease, asthma, and type 2 diabetes. They increase lung function and weight loss. Also, the pectin found in their skin grabs toxins like lead and mercury and flushes them out of the body. Apples also help protect us from damaging UVB radiation. So keep an apple with you. Better yet, keep 2. Of the 10 brands commonly consumed in the U.S., Fuji apples have the highest total phenolic and flavonoid compounds. Red Delicious are high too. Begin by simply adding an apple to your diet today. You don't have to make any other changes if you're not ready. Besides keeping an apple with you, grab a handful of almonds. Studies show that eating 5 or more servings of nuts a week reduces heart attack risk by 51%. It also cuts the risk of dying from coronary artery disease by 44% compared to eating nuts less than once a week. Almonds and walnuts in particular help fight Alzheimer's disease. Additionally, nuts are a good source for choline, a brain-boosting chemical. If you're looking for a simple way to feel a lot better now, then separate some almonds or walnuts into individual servings in bags. And as you're headed out the door, take a bag or 2 with you. Eat them for a quick snack or when you're hungry. Drink more water, not just liquid, but water. All of the body's important chemical reactions take place in water. Its role is vital for nutrient absorption, temperature control, and waste removal. Dehydration warning signs include headache, lightheadedness, dizziness, and tiredness. Start drinking more water if you experience any of these symptoms. A lack of water also reduces alertness and the ability to concentrate. Getting enough water reduces certain cancer risks and is also vital for metabolizing fat, making us thinner. Do you have more on your to-do list than you can get done? Then make time for a healthy breakfast because it increases your production output. Take a few minutes for a bowl of oatmeal and some fruit. This sharpens your mind and fuels your body for hours with energy. Here's a thought. If you don't have time for breakfast, then grab an apple, a bag of almonds, and a bottle of water as you head out the door and eat on the way to wherever you're headed. Change is easier when we start small because little choices add up to create big results. So take action today and start living your life to the fullest with better nutrition.
And that's what it's about, isn't it? Living life to the fullest. She talked about all the fads that we hear. There are many of them, there's a new one all the time, and it kind of boils down to money, I think. They're always coming up with another weight loss idea or a new fad, but it's important not to believe everything that you hear. and to ask ourselves those critical questions when we make choices about our food and our dietary practice. There have been one of the things that has been in the news in recent years was they say we need to drink a glass of wine every day for our hearts, right? So when you hear that, you think, wait a minute, I thought alcohol was not good for us. Is the benefit for our hearts in the alcohol, or is it something else? Well, it's true that the alcohol is not good for us. There are many problems that are caused by the alcohol, and we can get the beneficial part of what you would get from a glass of wine from a glass of grape juice. It's the connection between the coronary heart disease, the heart disease. It's the flavonoids that are in the grapes that's what that fights the heart disease. So it's the grape, not the alcohol, where the benefit is. I suspect that any place in the South, but any place in the United States, when you start talking about a plant-based diet, there's resistance. I mean, we like what we like, The research is clear, though, that there are other ways of eating that are more healthful. And the risks that are associated with a lot of meat eating is coronary heart disease, high blood pressure, cancer, stroke, diabetes, all of those things. So we know that we can get protein from other sources, and we can get the benefits that we might get from meat. We can get it from other sources. We're blessed to live here in the United States where we have so many choices that are available to us. She talked about the benefits of nuts. Nuts are complete protein. Seeds also. You think about it's the whole power to grow a plant is in the seed. The seeds have a lot of nutrition in them. Sesame seeds have calcium in them, and of course some protein, but they're very small, so you need to include them, in salads and various things. But they're high in calcium. Flax seeds. There's been a lot of, we know that flax seeds are good for us. They are rich in omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants and fiber. But the flaxseed oil and the flax seeds the nutrients are very unstable to light. So if you just eat the flax seeds, your body doesn't get to the benefit. They pass right through. I mean, they have that hard little covering on them. So what you do with flax seeds, and I brought this just because I have one and I use it, but the little coffee grinder, you put a couple of tablespoons of those flax seeds in there and push that down, and you can add them to a lot of things. And, anytime you're cooking, you could throw some freshly ground flaxseed into that, and it's high in fiber, antioxidants, and protein. Flax seeds have been shown in studies to be helpful against heart disease, cancer, cholesterol, blood pressure, high cholesterol, blood pressure, diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, ADHD, memory loss, weight problems, inflammation, eczema, acne, itchy skin, hives, constipation, depression. I mean, you name it, flax seeds must be good for it. Hemp. Have you seen the hemp seeds in the stores? They were sampling them at Costco, and I tried some on the yogurt. They sampled them with yogurt, and I thought, well, those are pretty good. So we got them, and I've been using them. They are not related to it's not pot. You're not going to get high from them. But they are very high in calcium, which is good for bone health. Also iron, and they are a complete protein. So really good for you. Beans. They reduce the risk of heart disease, stroke, cancer, diabetes. Beans are high in protein, fiber, calories, and fat. And gas, right? Okay. Let me just tell you, there are some ways you can cook beans to reduce the gas. If you bring them to boil at night, like the night before you're going to eat them, put them in the pot, those dried beans, bring them to a boil and just turn them off, let them set there overnight. In the morning, pour off the water, replace that with fresh water. A lot of that fat or gas-causing chemical substance that's in the beans is water soluble. It floats, and so when you pour it off, you lose a lot of that. If they still cause gas, you can cook them throw a little papaya in. The enzyme in the papaya is good to help fight the gas. And also some other fruits like pineapple and kiwi. You may not want the pineapple flavor in your beans, but the papaya is a really nice little mild flavor, and it's that digestive enzyme. I like this slide because I love avocados. They did a study comparing two diets, with the one being the Step 3 American Heart Association diet, and one being a diet that was high in avocado. They found that on the avocado-rich diet, the total cholesterol dropped 8.2% with no change in the HDL. And the HDL is the good cholesterol that we want to keep high, the high density. On the traditional low-fat now, low-saturated fat diet, which is the level 3 American Heart Association diet, the total cholesterol did drop 4.9%, but the HDL also dropped. So if you just eat a good diet and add in some avocado, it's going to help your cholesterol, which is good for a lot of things. So, focus on positive addition. Add good things to your diet. To review, food is a blessing from God. God created us with taste buds to eat and enjoy the wonderful variety of all of the things that He provided for us. It's our fuel for life. God's eating plan is found in the Bible, and the closer our food is to the way God made it, the better it is for us. So eat to live, and we don't live to eat. Eat a variety of foods. Balance the foods you eat with physical activity to maintain and improve your weight. Choose that diet that's low in total fat, in saturated fat, and cholesterol, and choose a diet with plenty of vegetables, fruits, and grains. Choose a diet that's moderate in sugar, moderate in salt and sodium. And if you drink alcoholic beverages, do so in moderation, or better not to drink it at all. We want to practice these creation health principles. Maximize, moderate, minimize, and avoid. Maximize the whole grains and fruits and vegetables, legumes, nuts, and water. Moderate the amount of the food that we eat. I mentioned, the size of the plates. If you use a smaller plate, it's helpful. You don't have so much food in front of you, you're not as likely to eat as much. Something else, it says eat until you're comfortably full. It takes 20 to 25 minutes when you eat to get that sensation of fullness. So if you eat real fast in front of the TV, you never have that, your brain and your body, that connection between, all right, I'm full, it's time to stop eating. If you sit at the table and have a nice conversation and take time talking to one another and enjoying your food, you find that you improve interpersonal relations, you're not going to eat as much in all likelihood. And you will enjoy it more. Consider smaller, more frequent meals as well. Minimize. animal proteins, fats, processed food, sugar, salt, artificial sweeteners, and toxins. Eat organic when you can. And avoid alcohol, caffeine, and soda. I'm just saying a word about caffeine. I know, don't go there. Caffeine is a stimulant. It's a drug. They use it in, it's a prescription. They give it in the hospital. It causes anxiety, jitters, sleeplessness, headaches, dehydration, and calcium loss. I thought that was interesting. Now, at my stage of life, I'm starting to be concerned about the calcium in my bones. My father fell last month, or in January, broke his hip, and I see that ahead of me. Caffeine is related to calcium loss, and of course, heart irregularities. So we want to choose to enjoy the diet that was originally given by God in Eden. I want to say just a word as to why we did this whole creation health thing. We talked about, when you love somebody, you want them to have the very best. That's part of it. Part of it also why we did this seminar. We were thinking about how we can, what do we have here at North Chapel that we could invite people to? At the time we were thinking, maybe we could do a seminar like this for the public. Well, I started thinking we're probably not going to get a real big turnout here in Franklin if we put up the sign with the beasts on it, So maybe what else do we have? I thought, we have been so blessed with this knowledge of health that has been a gift to our church since the beginning. And we have been we've kind of held it under a bushel. We're kind of afraid, we've been afraid to talk about it. But in Franklin especially, it's an area where people are interested in health. There's one gym after another. They're packed, they're full all the time. The parking lot at the Y, the Franklin Health. People are interested in health. And many people know more about it now than perhaps we do. And many people follow it. They just opened another health food store, if you want to call it that, Sprouts, down here. It's packed. So people are interested in this. So let's take this blessing that's been given to us by God, use it in our own lives, and then be able to use it to bless others. So I invite you, as we finish this seminar, this series, to continue to think about it, how you might put some of these things into practice in your own life, and let it be a blessing to you and to others. Live your life to the fullest. Choice, rest, environment, activity, trust in divine power, interpersonal relationships, outlook, and nutrition.